Hello, my fellow cigar smokers, and welcome to Smoker's Spot Night Owl time again. Tonight we're smoking the wonderful Nomad Suns Out, Guns Out. That beautiful sticker was given to me by my good friend Daniel Ravanelli, 505 Cigar Review Show. Thanks, my friend. Was really looking forward to smoke that stick. I think I saw don't know, one, maybe two reviews, but that thing here instantly caught my attention. Why? Jesus Christ, look at that band. I mean, it's a fucking panda with two guns out shooting around. It's fucking crazy. I love these creative bands, and man, Ezra Zion, who's the owner of Nomad Cigars, is doing a fucking awesome job. I think we just had one Nomad cigar in the past. For me, they're hard to get because they're not available in Germany or in Europe at all. And I had one that was the Nomad Signature, which was sent to me by Ranch Arden Cigars. So thanks a lot. Back then, it was a fantastic cigar. So now you understand maybe why I'm so excited to smoke this one. Really happy. Without further saying, let's get it started, and then let's talk what's going on here. It has a wonderful smell of sugary coffee, something like this. Cold roll. Let's do a V-cut today. It's looking good. It was good. Something creamy. Foot is partially closed, and since we have almost like a foot band, unfortunately I have to remove the band before lighting it. But that thing will land in my band collection. Beautiful. So we don't know a whole lot about this cigar in regards what tobacco is in it. They're just saying it is tobacco that is aged between 7 and 12 years. That's quite some time. The only tobacco that they're saying they use is the wrapper, and that is a Corojo 99 wrapper that was aged 10 years. I mean, fine. If they want to make a secret out of it, I have no problem with it as long as it tastes fantastic. I mean, on the other hand, if you have a trash cigar and they're making a big secret out of the tobacco, you know they're using trash, you know. But if it's a good cigar and they're making a secret out of it, all right, fair enough. If that is your secret recipe, cool. Dwarf's good. Spice. A little bit of pepper. And the sweetness that's not as intense as it was on the when I was smelling on it, but it's there, and I have a feeling that it will develop. Sun's out, guns out. They were only, I mean, that's like a micro batch cigar. They produced only 595 cigars. Sold out for a very long time. But the original price that I was able to check was like almost $12, so $11.90 something or so. Oh, good price. Classical Toro. Has a ring gauge of 52 and is 6 inches long, so really a classical Toro. Very good start. Nice. Let's pair it. Let's pair it. I brought the Master Select Hibiki Japanese whiskey made by Suntory. One of my favorite Japanese whiskeys. The bottle alone is like art. Look at this with the different facets they were building in. Beautiful whiskey. And I'm using a special class today. That one here was given to me, see here, especially for a cigar. That here was given to me by my youngest daughter for Father's Day. We had Father's Day in Germany, I think like 2 weeks ago, and that's now the first time I'm actually using it. I already checked here that little hole, and it's not like big enough that you can push your cigar in there like this, but you can like push it through, and then you have here the cigar, and it holds. Nice. It's a nice gimmick. Love it. Cheers, my friends. Good health. Great. Guys, I hope you are doing good. I had a good week. Week before that was kind of rough. I explained it in the last night out, and I was overwhelmed by all the nice comments and so on that were under that video. Thanks a lot, my friends. Really, I really appreciate that. But we're back in business. I have a nice story here about the Hibiki. Actually, the Hibiki, that's like the Suntory flagship, right? They have it in different aged categories, and that was actually the first Japanese whiskey I bought, and that was back in 2004. And it was the first time where a Japanese whiskey won the gold medal. There were a couple of more or less important contests, and one of the biggest, that was the first Japanese whiskey won the gold medal, and everybody was like fucking crazy. What's going on here? So, okay, Japanese whiskey is a thing, right? And back then, I bought a bottle of it. Exactly from that whiskey who won the gold medal from that series. And even back then, it was like fucking crazy expensive. Cost me like, I don't know, guys, really can't remember exactly, but it was something like 200 or 300 euros, something like this. And I thought, well, maybe that's might be like a good investment, right? I mean, I have more than enough whiskeys to drink, and as you know, I'm collecting whiskeys and cigars. That's the only two things I'm collecting, and maybe a couple of books. So I thought, okay, let's take the whiskey. Pretty sure in a couple of years it will be, it will, I will, let's put it that way, that will be a good return of investment. I was pretty sure about, about that. So, and I kept it in my shelf, like in my cabinet here for years. And I think like 5 or 6 years ago, and that was actually the first time I was actually selling a whiskey. Until that time, I was only collecting. So there was an event. The David flagship store was like doing a pairing, and it was together with a dinner. And we were like, I don't know, 20, 25 people or something like this. And the pairing took place in a Italian restaurant here in Frankfurt. Uh, and a couple of people that were there I already knew, and a couple of them were like never saw before, or just maybe a couple of times. So we were smoking and eating and drinking and so on, and you know, like these little groups built here and there, and you were talking about like small talk things, right? And there was this one older guy, and I don't know, can't remember even his name right now, but I still know how he looked, like gray hair, a full beard, like all gray, and man, I think he was like 70 something, right? And he was there together with his wife. And at some point, we started talking about whiskey. And we were talking about, okay, what whiskey do you like? What whiskey do I like? And then sharing stories about special whiskey. And then I was telling the story about that hibiki I bought like years ago. And he asked, so how is it? And I said, well, I never tried this whiskey because I bought it for my collection, but I had like other hibikis and they were all fantastic. And so he said, really, I would be really interested in that whiskey, in that bottle you bought, that gold medal whiskey. I said, oh really? And for me it was just more or less a joke. And he said, yeah, really, I want to buy it. So how much will it cost? And at this point, I had absolutely no intention selling this whiskey. So I thought, okay, I just put out a number that he will never pay that price. And I said, oh man, I don't know. Back then I paid like 200, 300 at least 10 times, so 10 or 20 times that. I'm pretty sure it's worth it. Let's say 4,000 euros. And he said, okay. I was looking at him like I was just making a joke, right? Well, like a half joke, you know. Because before I was putting out that number, I like a process was starting, and I said, okay, actually I don't want to sell that whiskey, but if I have to sell it, he has to plead for it, right? He has to pay like an insane amount of money for it. So I was just saying that like 4,000, right? And I was like 100% sure that he was like, oh, okay, nah, thank you, And he said just okay. And I was looking at him. I said, 4,000. He said, yeah, I will pay that. You come over tomorrow. Like he gave me his card. Like, come over tomorrow in my office, bring the whiskey, I will give you the money. And I said, okay. I was taking the card, put it in my pocket, and I thought, like, I still wasn't sure that this is going to happen. But then the next day, we finished the pairing and everything at that night, and we didn't talk about that whiskey anymore. Just as we were saying goodbye, we said, I'll see you tomorrow. I said, okay, see you tomorrow. And then the other day, man, I took my little Hibiki bottle, going to his office, met this guy, and selling my gold medal Hibiki whiskey for 4,000 euros. That's my Hibiki story. It's one of these things, man, that you almost can't believe. But then and actually at that pairing, it was the first time I met this guy. I saw him 1 or 2 times maybe in the earlier that year or the year before that, not quite sure. And he was also a customer of the Davidoff flagship store, but he never came to the lounge smoking. He was just going into the shop buying cigars, and I saw him there a couple of times. So after selling this whiskey, was talking with a couple of other people, and then I figured out, okay, man, this guy's like just insanely rich. Like one of these persons that are never, ever looking at their like bank statement, right? Because they are 100% sure that there's always enough money there that they can buy whatever they want. So, and after that, I saw him a couple of times. One more pairing or so, and we were talking about the whiskey, and he never, as far as I know, I mean, the last time I saw him was before all that Corona shit, and maybe in 2019. And every time I see him, what about the whiskey? And he's always saying like, okay, it's still in my cabinet, closed. Okay, good enough. So Hibiki. That's why I love Hibiki. Very good cigar. Fantastic ash. White. The burn, not razor sharp, but absolutely okay. I love the ash. I love the burn. Construction is great. Also the draw is very good. And actually it's a really good pairing with my Hibiki here. Because the Hibiki has this almond nutty sweetness thing that is going on there with a very, very long ending. It stays in your mouth for a while. That's great. And the here my Sun's Out Guns Out cigar developed nicely. It has this creamy, sugary sweetness. Not like over dominant, but it's there. And together with like an espresso like bitterness. Jesus Christ, good cigar. I had one crazy moment this week. Um, if you guys follow the night owl and everything while I'm talking, I already explained I'm more or less not working anymore. But here and there, I'm doing a couple of projects that I like and that I think that are interesting, or um, they are like they're adding something to my, don't know, experience, knowledge whatsoever. And it's not so much then about money. It's more about the the part that is interesting. Like, is it exciting? Is it something that I really like? Um, Not only understand, but if I have a passion for it and so on. And I have this one project that is running now for months, but I'm only working on there like here and there when something is needed on a like developer basis programming. Um, so can't tell you so much about the project itself, other than there is this company, and they are going to tokenizing something. And tokenizing means they're taking a cryptocurrency, and there is a token, and this token is like the base for the wealth calculation of that thing that they're tokenizing. Means, for example, let's say you have a whole building, right? The real estate management, right? You have this building, and this building is worth, like, let's say 1 million euros. And then you have, like, for example, 1 million tokens, and each token is worth like $1. So you have 1 million parts that you can sell to people. It's like stocks, just on a blockchain basis. So, okay, here's this company, and they want to tokenize something, and I'm helping them with their project on a project management slash development basis. And the last couple of weeks, they were already like I was seeing that something is going on. They're changing something. They had some problems with the jurisdiction in the country that they are wanted to originally start that project. Um, and so they decided to move the whole project to another country. Um, it's silly because I cannot give you more details about it, but I want to tell you that story. Um, okay, so I figured, okay, something is going on. And Thursday, the CEO of that company called me and said, "Hey Andy, we have to start over again with something because ABC happened. And listen, um, starting Monday, we have a new sales team, and they will go out and selling these tokens to their customers, to their network. And because that's a new sales team, they need like a new dashboard where the investors and the salespeople can log in and like calculating the tokens they were selling, the bonuses and everything around it, right?" And he said, like, okay, it was Thursday, right? And we are starting, and he said, we have to start Monday. So can you please develop something until Monday where they can log in and like selling the tokens, and a separate like sales login where they can manage their bonuses, their people that they were sending rafflings out and everything else. And I said, dude, man, it's Thursday, right? And you asking me to do something until Monday. That is like, I don't want to say impossible, but man, you're asking for something here. And I said, I know, but we have to do that right now. We have like we have some pressure here coming from ABC, and we need to do that. Really, can you make it happen? And I said, okay. Dude, I will do my very best, and I'm pretty sure I can come up with something until Monday. But it won't be the nicest thing, like design-wise, right? It will work. It won't be perfect, but it will work. They can do their job, you know. But it won't look very nice, and maybe here and there you will find some bugs. But it will work, basically. Okay, thank you, let's go. Okay, so I started developing that shit, and actually I've wrote the last piece of code like this morning, and so I finished on time. And now the week starts, and let's see if everything runs smoothly or not. And I'm pretty sure they will find some bugs and things that are not working how they expected and so on. But it's like that's these things. I mean, A, that sounds crazy, but B, it's also challenging on the other hand. And that is something that is like there's a trigger, right? So, okay, here's a task. It's very hard to achieve. It's very hard to do that, but I know you can do it. Please help us. Okay, let's go. Get everything together. Calling a couple of people where I need help with other pieces of code and stuff, and it worked. It worked, and I was like exhausted, but happy that it worked, and it's looking very nice, and it's working, and it's just a good feeling when you achieve something and it's working. So it was a good thing. Crazy but good. The smoke output, that's like the only thing where I would say it's not perfect. It's still very good, but I wish like the smoke out would be a little bit more. But it's still absolutely okay. But it's like, you know, at some point you have to find something that's not perfect. Where's my whiskey? Oh. I don't know if you guys followed the news this week, but something interesting happened. There was this G7 summit, and there they decided to initiate like a minimum global uh, tax level for 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 companies. They agreed that the minimum tax um, should be 15% for companies. When you hear it first, maybe it's boring, it sounds boring. But if you have a little bit to do with like business and of course taxes and so on, I mean nobody likes to pay taxes, right? Especially me. But there are a few things that you cannot avoid in life, and taxes is definitely one thing. Anyways, guys, so they agreed the minimum taxes should be 15%. Why? Because fair game, right? There are a couple of countries in the world, in Europe, Caribbean, wherever, where they are taking it's like a tax heaven, right? And there's a reason why companies like Google or Facebook are based in Ireland, for example, for the European market. And you could ask yourself, why Ireland? It's a beautiful country. I love it. I love Ireland. I love the Irish. But for sure, they are not choosing that country because it's a beautiful country. They're choosing it, but they chose it because they have to pay almost zero taxes. And it's good for them because they can keep more money. And then, of course, other countries that are a little bit richer, like France, Belgium, Germany, they're saying, dudes, that's not fair, right? We know these companies are just in your country because you're charging them no taxes. And that sucks. For example, here in Germany, the echo or the response to that proposal or to the agreement, like that 15% tax, minimum tax thing, was like overwhelming. A lot of people say, man, that's a revolution. That's a great signal. That is so good. It was about time. And all that. And on one hand, I totally understand, right? Because you could think that, hey, that's just fair, right? They're only choosing that country because they're charging them no taxes, or like 2% taxes. And of course they're choosing that. And because of that, other richer countries thinking, okay, they're robbing us of our income, because otherwise their headquarters would be here in Germany, or here in France, or here in Belgium, or whatever, or Netherlands, whatsoever, right? Because of course the infrastructure here is better, and the only benefit they're having over there is that they're paying no taxes. So they want to make it more equal and more fair. And you could think that's a good thing. And one of my first thoughts were, I don't know if that is so good. Because, let's take Ireland as an example. They have problems infrastructure-wise, and there are not a lot of young people. They are like going to England, Germany, somewhere else in Europe where they're earning more money, and the infrastructure is better. Everything, they have their reasons. So Google, for example, said they were going to like the Irish government, and they were saying, listen, at the moment we are planning our European headquarters, and we have a couple of options, but we thinking about doing that here. In this case, like in Cork, in Ireland. There are just like two major cities where they could do that. That's like Dublin or Cork. So they were talking to the Irish government and saying, guys, listen, our plan is we're planning the headquarters, and one of the options is Ireland. So what can you offer? And I say, hey, listen, If you are building your headquarters over here in Ireland, we're charging you no taxes, or let's say 1% or 2%, whatever, like minimum. Plus, you're getting benefit A, B, C. And at one point, like Google decided, okay, that's a good offer, so we're moving our European headquarters to Ireland. And what happened is they were building the headquarters, and just for building it, they were using like Irish workforce, like they employed people. And then they were finished building it, and the operation starts, and they are hiring people in Ireland. So Irish people working for Google in Ireland. I mean, other people from abroad too, but a lot of Irish people getting jobs now. Because Google decided to move the headquarters to Ireland because they got a good offer from the Irish government. So what happens now? If, for example, Ireland is forced to increase taxes. Only two things can happen. Option A. Google says, okay, we stay in Ireland. Okay, they increase the taxes, but 15% is still, I can live with that. I don't like it, but I can live with it. Option B, they're saying, okay, fuck it. If I have to pay like 15% taxes now, and I have to live with all the obstacles that we have to overcome here in this country, we can easily move now our headquarters to, let's say, Germany, because they have a better infrastructure, and so on and so on. So what happened there? All the people that have worked for Google in Ireland, they're getting fired. The headquarters closed, jobs are lost, and now people in Germany are getting these jobs. So, although I'm living in Germany, I don't think that's a good move. Because, frankly, we're already doing pretty good here. And we can live even without having the Google headquarters here in Germany. It would be nice to getting more taxes for the government and so on, and having a couple of people more employed over here. But there's enough taxes over here. And the unemployment rate in Germany is like, I mean, I don't want to say like zero, but almost non-existent. I think we're on a level like we have 4 million, 3 or 4 million people that are unemployed, and that includes all the people that are not longer able to work theoretically or practically, because let's say they are like already like 58 years old and nobody's going to hire them, though they will stay unemployed until they retire. So let's say we have like 3.5 million people that are unemployed, and over 80 million people are living here in Germany. So we have no problem with unemployment, we have no problem with taxes. So like I said, it would be nice to have it over here, but it doesn't make like a huge difference. But if these companies are moving away from Ireland right now, that would be like a hard cut, a hard punch in the Irish face. And I'm using just Ireland now for an example. I could use also other examples in Europe where they are charging almost no taxes in order to be attractive for big tech companies. And for me, I would say, I mean, what the fuck? It's my country, right? So now, impersonate like the Irish government or whatever, right? And they think like, what the fuck is going on? It's my country. And I think the best thing to do right now is making a good offer to Google, Facebook, or whatever, that they come over here and getting my people employed and still earning money, not through like company taxes, but people are working there for now. They paying taxes. The employees, they're paying taxes, and money is coming into the market and everything else. So they're earning money through that, not through company taxes, but through other means. And now everything is lost then, because globally they want to increase the company taxes. As I said, I don't think that's. I'm not like the biggest expert in global taxing and so on, but just thinking about it from another perspective, I'm not sure if that's a good move. That's all I'm saying. I don't say it's bad or good or whatever. On the first couple of thoughts, I just had the feeling, the impression that it's maybe not a move that is as good as people think first. So I don't know what you are thinking about it. If that is something that like interests you at all, or if that is something that you where you like, if that is a trigger or not. Let's put it that way. But for me, I heard it and I was thinking about it for up to today, right? And like yesterday, we were doing that. I'm doing that German podcast thing, right, with two buddies of mine, and even on the podcast, we had that topic, right, and was talking about it. And also there, it wasn't like crystal clear, you know. We're still puzzled and thinking, is that good? Is that not good? I think time will tell, but I'm not so sure about it. Talking about here the Nomad Suns Out, Guns Out 2021. Damn good cigar. Damn good cigar. That sweetness is still there. That coffee, the espresso like bitterness is there. And that's a good bitterness. What stepped up is a creaminess. In the second third, it developed a very nice creaminess. And I think the smoke output got a little bit better. The camera is not like perfect catching that, but there's a lot of smoke coming out, and even that got better. It was a good pick. In the last cigar talk, I think where I was talking about that Alec Bradley Mega Burner lighter. Or I have to say, um, I will talk about it a little bit more in the next review because, for example, Ranch asked, like, let's see how you light a cigar with it, see how the flame looks and everything. I will definitely do that in the next review, and also how long the when you're filling the lighter, how long does it last? Like with one filling. I will check that out and talk about that real short in the next review. I still love the lighter. By the way, a great piece of not shit. It's a great lighter. Jesus Christ. What I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, the last cigar talk where I talked about the Bradley Mega Burner. I started something new, where I was showing you guys like 4 or 5 different cigars that I got new, and you are deciding which cigar should I use for review. And it was also a pretty good response. Most people voted for that. They now call it the Mafia cigar. It was the Il Petrino that had a nice band with that mafia-like um, text on it, like on the band was like "Kiss the Ring," and the cigar itself is called El Petrino, and the Vitolas had names like Don Vito and Omerta and something like this. So they're playing around with that mafia thing, right? So most people voted now for the El Petrino, so we'll do a review on that one. I will also smoke the other ones. Maybe I will take one for a night owl or so, but the El Petrino will be the one I will putting out a review for in the next couple of weeks. Really excited to check out that one because it's a good looking cigar. Still not quite sure if it's only a cigar that's available in Germany or in Europe, because the information you're getting from the manufacturers that are not like crystal clear, but we'll see. We'll see. This week, guys, I'm not quite sure if I talked about it in the one of the last night owls, but from starting from season 1, I was a big Walking Dead fan. And just recently, here in Germany, they brought out the last couple of episodes from season 10. Like last month, it was still, we were able to watch it until episode 16. And then they were deciding like bringing out the other episodes later on. Why? Because the production was in the middle of that corona bullshit, and so they have to stop, and usually they plan to do a season 11, but then they had a couple of episodes and now they moved it to the season 10, which now has more episodes than all the other seasons. I'm still not quite sure if they're making like like a season 11. I'm sure because the ending was like very open, and I think it's still kind of successful. Not as successful as the first couple of seasons, but it's still a good running series. So what I want to say is they brought out like episode 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. And I like binge watched it in one night. I started and I had like, my plan was okay, maybe watching one episode, maybe two, right? And then I started in the late evening, and then I finished watching all the remaining episodes 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 6 episodes in one night. And it was at one of these days. Remember, I was talking about like I had a lot to do with developing that dashboard thing for the tokenizing shit, and that was one of these days where I was working all day long, and I was just like, dude, I was finished, right? Um, and I was just sitting on the couch, and I started Walking Dead, and then binge watch it all the way through, and then I think I watched I was on episode 18 or 19, and then my oldest daughter was coming into the living room. It was already like 1 a.m. or so, and she's also a Walking Dead fan, and she was like, because if she's going to the kitchen, she has to go through the living room, right? And I was sitting there watching The Walking Dead, and she was coming in, and she just like saw the screen, and she said, "Is that Walking Dead?" And I said, "Yes, Walking Dead." She said, "No, stop it, please, pause." Because she also still needs to watch the remaining episodes. So I paused it until she was doing her thing in the kitchen and we were leaving again. But so I think that's one of the things probably that she like adapted, right? My love for these kind of series. So that's one way or the other. That's a cool thing. So guys, it was a good night out with a good cigar and a good whiskey. Lovely. They've made only 595 cigars, so probably there's no way to getting more of it. If you had one, um, you're one of the lucky few. Very good stick, very good stick, and maybe just because they were making like just 500 and a couple of cigars, that makes it so special. No matter how much money you have or whatever, if they're gone, they're gone. And either you were one of the lucky few who had one or not. But if you have a chance, or you have still one laying around in your humidor or so, give it a try, guys. I really loved it. Really loved that stick. I hope you enjoy a great cigar. Enjoy life. Most importantly, stay safe and stay healthy. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for being part of it. Part of the Night Owl community. Because I figured there are a couple of people who are just watching the Night Owl. No reviews, no whatsoever. They're all always tuning in when it's Night Owl time, and I really appreciate that. The community is increasing. We're heading towards the 5. Oh, guys, there's one thing. Remember, we had this 400 subscribers giveaway, and I still remember MJ19 won that box of that Vega Fina Exclusivo Alemania. I was sending it out, and just the other day it was coming back. The box was coming back to me. Why? Guys, listen, that's absolutely insane. Because it was going to a different country. You have to fill out when you're sending it like that custom sheet where you're declaring what you're sending, and I'm always saying it's a gift, right? So I was putting everything together, sending a package, and sending on its way. And then I already thought it already arrived, I just had no feedback, but whatever, I don't care, right? I was coming back, I was like, what the fuck is going on? And guys, that's the reason. Almost unbelievable. I forgot to sign the custom that document, that custom document for customs, right? I really forgot to sign it. and they were sending the whole shit back. Just because my signature was missing. Holy shit, are you fucking crazy? Man, it's just a box of cigars. Holy shit. Whatsoever. Dude, you who won the MJ19, who won the Vega Fina Exclusivo Alemania, man, I'm so sorry. It was my fault that I forgot that. Also, I still think these people are whatever. The box here, I will print out tomorrow a new custom document for customs. I will sign it. I will put it in there again, and it will be again on its way. Oh man! And then I hope in the next couple of days it will arrive. Jesus Christ! Why is some things are so hard? Anyways, guys, I already said all my words like enjoy and so on and so on. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Really appreciate. I wish you all a good night, and I see you around at Smoker Spot. Wednesday, a new cigar talk. Friday, a new review. Come hang out with me and have some fun with cigars. Cheers.